But anyway, hello, welcome to part two of this tarot card reading. We're at the head of the Crow, the Eight of Cups. And yeah, our Eight of Cups is reversed today. I think this is very interesting considering we do have this Ace of Cups reversed. This Eight of Cups suggests this lunar self wanting to get rid of materialism, ready to give it all up for seeking some sort of spiritual truth. This crow is going to fly over to the mountain and the moon and explore her. For some reason, I think in the past I've associated this card with the he crow. I don't know why. But we get this card reversed today, and reversed it says that we might have become stagnant in our growth. And I really hesitate as your tarot card reader to tell y'all that this is what this card represents here in this tarot card reading. I think this gonna have to mix a bit of this upright meaning and reverse meaning together a bit, considering we do have tons of earth element here. We have this Empress, this Seven of Pentacles, and this Devil card over here. All earth element. We usually, as a tarot card reader, I notice that right away. Tons of earth element. So this kind of realist type of situation going on. I think this not ready to give it all up does not mean that our growth is stunted. I think it's very interesting. We get this card with this Seven of Coins here, Seven of Pentacles. Cut your losses as far as rate of return and hard work. And usually the earth elements, as far as the zodiac signs, usually have a lot to do with all of that. But yeah, I think this Eight of Cups is talks about making a decision, a fear of making a decision and become stagnant in your growth. I think this is really interesting as far as the so much earth element. Here we finally get this fear, which is the head of the crow. The head of the crow is either our hopes or fears. So I think that this is very interesting with the water element. As far as fear, I think maybe this can be maybe with your relationships, not necessarily your material possessions, like the description in the book, but maybe your relationships that you really are very important to you. Is something for some reason you fear losing. I'm thinking it has something to do with this Devil card. But I think this might be has something to do with our present Seven of Pentacles here. Putting in the work, but this need to cut our losses. And so I think this Eight of Cups here at the head of the crow may simply mean that either we're willing to give up something for our relationships, whether it be romantic or friendships, or very empathetic with a friend or your romantic partner, and they may not want to give up something. then it may have something to do with that. But the Eight of Cups does symbolize taking a leap of faith, taking a chance on something, because your ultimate goal is to achieve something greater emotionally. And I would say on that note, as far as getting the Empress is like the King and Queen, so I think that's very positive. A card for a king or queen to get, right? So yeah, let's see what our grounding energy is. Oh, the High Priestess, finally she shows up. Our grounding energy is the water element. So we have the head, a very kind of balanced kind of water element. She is upright. This would be our third major arcana deck card here. She's a high priestess, quite like the magician. They do have their own elements, but here always throughout the tarot card decks, even they have all the elements with them. She's got a sword, a wand, a cup, and the pentacle sign here. But she's very much connected. We have a lot of a spirituality here, I guess is what we can say here in this tarot reading. Along the midline of the crow, which I guess is a really great, considering again Banjo's card for us had the devil. And it really makes me think that this is something that's separate from us, but to somebody probably does really need to be taking responsibility for whatever's going on there. We have a very strong card here, a lot of balance, a lot of earth energy, career, possessions, and just the earth itself, right? We have this willingness to cut our losses, which I think is very interesting. We also have this theme of getting different cards to kind of describe what could have been a different card to get. If you're not a tarot card reader, maybe that doesn't mean much to you, but here it says reversed is unable to make a decision, or valuing material things over spiritual and emotional things. But here we have this Seven of Pentacles here, cutting our losses and trusting our intuition. So we obviously have a different kind of meaning to this Eight of Cups reverse here. A lot of lunar energy. Maybe it's this lunar solar type situation. I don't know. Whenever there's something about fear, I really like to pay attention to that. I don't like to ignore fear, especially if you're talking about your lunar and shadow selves, and I don't think that's what's going on here. But yeah, I think this Eight of Cups reversed is very positive. I think this crow is probably just doing his very similar to this Empress major arcana deck. You have this minor arcana deck Empress kind of form with the Eight of Cups here. I think is what I'm trying to say. And then the High Priestess is great. The High Priestess is a duo and dynamic with the Hierophant. The Hierophant is about tradition, structure, maybe even institutions, and following the rules, and maybe reverse to making the rules and stuff like that. So I think this is very interesting. We have this a lot of feminine or lunar energy. The High Priestess is very communicative, even though she is a water element and not an air element. She'll bring, she's very connected to the spirit world, and will bring a lot of communication signals and signs. Um, and so, as far as our introduction is concerned, I think the High Priestess would really like that kind of situation of meditation and stuff like that. However you choose to meditate. Um, and she's also represents things that could be hidden, the mysterious and stuff like that. So I think our grounding energy, things are going to be hidden as far as could be secret, could be mysterious, could be we just simply have privacy. Um, uh, uh, so yeah, that's our grounding energy, and I think that's really great. Um, so let's see our past. The King of Cups reverse. Benjo. So the King. This is one of the cards where the upright is the positive meaning and the reversed is the opposite and negative meaning. I think this is really interesting, again, considering the water element. Um, as far as your chakras are concerned, your water element, again, is your second chakra, your creativity chakra. It's below your belly. Also, to include like your reproductive organs and stuff like that. Some people are often associated with sexual energy and stuff like that, but I really don't lean too heavily on that. I think maybe the sexual energy can really just be any chakra. But anyway, I guess that's why I say your reproductive organs that in that area. Yeah, this reverse King of Cups here in our past is not very pleasant. Um, Sadistic. I would say couples along well with this Devil card. Um, I would say maybe not our past, maybe somebody else's past is kind of affecting us. Or maybe somebody in our past that we're able to kind of compartmentalize, or we have our own space, and there's just there's something there in our past. That's the reverse King of Cups. He's transformed into an emotional vampire. Being manipulated or using your emotions as a means of blackmail. I guess I get this sadistic term from, I think it's the Cat Tarot. But anyway, Cat Tarot and Crow Tarot, kind of similar in their meanings here. In the Dragon Tarot, it's an emotionally mature man capable of giving and receiving love. So it says to here in the Crow Tarot with this reverse King of Cups, it's very kind of lighthearted in the sense kind of glass half full. It always the creator of this deck always gives a piece of advice if there's something negative there. It's she says to examine your feelings and how you interact in a situation. So it could be that, and if it is that, again, I really just want to emphasize and stress this kind of separateness from us, and something in the past it may mean not anymore. This reverse King of Cups may be kind of very similar to a lot of these reverse cards in the minor arcana. All of our minor arcana deck cards are reversed right now, so maybe this could be a very positive. This is the upright meaning, right? Um, uh, for some reason, it's reversed, and in the past. Um, Zen Master. Oh, the Crow King of Cups is a Zen master, which doesn't mean like can meditate for like 2 hours or whatever, but means that this a regal bird can handle the most tumultuous of situations with grace and compassion. Um, One second. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So I think this is very interesting. I think there might be something hidden. Maybe there's something in our past that needs a bit of further exploration. Upon second thought, I think I might have been too quick to label this the exact negative definition. I think as these cards go on, I don't necessarily have to take them at a face of value, considering their placement and all that. And the cards that we could have gotten but didn't. Um, a very interesting way of saying things. Um, so I'm thinking this reverse King of Cups in the past could actually be something pleasant. Can definitely be the solar energy, which I think is really interesting considering uh, 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 what we have hidden and our I guess the elemental use for that. Usually, you would think solar energy would might be like fire, or air. How you your personality and how you enter into a situation. But here it's very much with the water. Your emotions, feelings, loves, dreams, even psychic energy. So we really have this play of this uh, um, the use of these elements. I think our theme is revolves a lot around using an element in a very unique way. Um, so yeah, I think this King of Cups in the past is really great. The King of Cups is the positive meaning is very emotionally mature and stuff like that. Reversed for a reason. I guess things have gotten tough in the past, and whatever that could mean. And yeah. Uh, and so let's just see, and this is great, especially considering Banjo's a devil card. I'm really a proponent of experience. He's a really great teacher. Um, uh, Not to, get too detail oriented about it, but I really think experience has a lot of value. So for the King of Cups to be in our past and for this to be all going on right now, I think is great for us. So let's see our external openings or uninvited energy. The Ten of Swords. I really like this card. I really like this card because I went to the Briscoe one time and I really liked this card. I was like, ooh, this is like the Ten of Swords here at the Briscoe Western Museum of Art. Um, this card, it could indicate isolation. It could indicate backstabbing. Um, but like I said, with this experience and this King of Cups, I think sometimes when you get older, you uh, uh, things our life is tough, and sometimes people not isolating you or backstabbing you, or they're um, just realizing life is tough. You're in a tough environment, and these as swords could indicate that here's one crow and there's 10 swords, so like 9 other crows gave this crow here their sword, and that's out of a sign of respect and stuff like that. Um, so I would say that's more of our external openings rather than uninvited energy. And I would say it is very positive and really interesting that it's our first minor arcana deck card that's upright. But again, kind of goes with our theme of this kind of very unique way of using these cards. Our external openings is this Ten of Swords, which, as your tarot card reader, I interpret very positively, even though it could have kind of a negative meaning. But yeah, difficulty is something that this card represents, difficulty and challenge and stuff like that. But I also like to say balance. You see the swords are all along the crow's back and stuff like that, and they're not just in a pile. They're lined up. So it's kind of organization, structure, and stuff like that. So finally, we get an air element. I wonder if we're going to get a fire element. Let's see what our future and outcome is. A fire element. Unfortunately, it's the page. So the Page of Wands, I don't like the pages. I don't like to be fooled by the pages. Here we are, the features page, and we have this, and we have very strong cards here. I would say this is our adversary, this Page of Wands. Probably alongside this double card situation, which if you don't know, as your tarot card reader, I usually associate the pages, whether they're upright or reversed, with this a lack of responsibility, this kind of being elevated without earning that. This space for failure and not getting any of the repercussions of a failure. The pages have the room to be wrong and incorrect, and maybe even either emotionally manipulative. This Page of Wands is speaking out a lot. Kind of looks like an air element, but it's the fire. Could be roaring, like a lion's roar. And that, which is the Strength card in here in this Crow Tarot deck, is a lion roaring with pink and yellow roses, with a crow on its head. Yeah, basically this Page of Cups is for some reason here. I don't like this Page of Wands. I would say this is our adversary, and as far as this whole setup, I think I'm probably just here to mess things up. But things seem really structured and stuff, so I think that'll be very positive for us. As far as this being the fire element, I think that's interesting. I would say definitely a lot of solar energy. This Page of Cups, it would be my guess, is not very connected to their lunar selves or shadow selves, and a lot of the times if that happens, when that happens, things can get a bit out of one's control, which could indicate this a devil card here. But being a page, we can also expect them not to take any sort of responsibility for it. But anyway, with that being said, we have two very negative cards, but other than that, and they kind of go together. I don't know why it has to be our future card, but here we are this week. We have a very country nighttime vibe. It is dark outside my window right now. But yeah, I think overall it's a very, very positive. We do have this positive theme, our country at night vibe, but we do have this very obvious elephant in the room, kind of negative energy and vibes going on. That's not us. Here we are, right? Extremely very positive, probably in a lot of what could have been a lot of negative situations, so very, very positive. A very unique use of the earth elements, I think, and stuff like that. But the upside to this Page of Wands, as far as our future, is somebody who's going to be incompetent and unexperienced, and they're going to be the fire element, which is like quick. You're the spark that creates an idea. So they're not going to be like the Knight of Pentacles, where they're what's it called? They have endurance, durability. Let me look really quick. Slow moving and methodical. Hard work and determination. But yeah, that's going to be our adversary, and and they're going to be inept. But other than that, we have very, very positive tarot card reading. I'm going to do the drawing off camera since I've just been talking so much. Oh, that's okay. And yeah. Very, very interesting tarot card reading for this week. We're going up against, we're going to have a tough week. Banjo. He's a little hound dog. He sniffs things out. So, good thing we know about this, huh, Banjo? Anyway. Alright, so very much like the introduction, very much a country at night type vibes. Meditation, contemplation, clearly very evident here in our tarot card reading. Okay, well, I guess that's that. Feel free to enter into the conversation what you think, your questions, comments, concerns, any sort of input you would like to input. And if you don't feel like participating in the comment section, that's fine. You don't have to. You're under no obligation or responsibility to do so. How about you? Okay. So that's that. I'll do the drawing off camera and I'll put it on Instagram. And I'll talk to you later. And as usual, I look forward to the next tarot card reading. I guess y'all probably watch this on Monday. Today's Sunday at night. So yeah, y'all have a good one.